And I believe we are actually live. Yes. Hello, everybody.
Yay.
Yay.
Good evening. Welcome to, according to the number at the top of my screen, this is now BSUP 50. It's the 50th anniversary of this stream that we do semi-regularly. How that works out in years, I don't know. But joined by, as usual, lovely panel, lovely chat. Well, it's a bit too soon to say for chat. We'll see what you're like over the course of the evening.
Yeah. Fuck you, chat.
Okay. No, it's not
okay.
No, that's straight in. No, you all suck.
I'm just joking. Calm down. You guys are
we'll jump right into these super chats then.
You gotta get some goodwill back.
Yeah, gotta get goodwill back with the chat here. TGV Monster for $2. Hi everyone. Good seeing everyone. It's good seeing you too, my friend. And him again for another $2. I'm going to say it. I'm rooting for the Queen in Snow White. Yeah,
we all are.
I'm a simple man. Look, I don't know where most of you are from, but I'm from Alabama, and it doesn't take much. When I look at the Queen, I'm like, yeah, I want her to win. Yeah. Because I want that lady in my life. And the Rachel Zegler is like a little goblin. I don't need the goblin. I want the lady that will make my children also beautiful. Okay, that's Gal Gadot by 1,000 miles. I don't care. I don't care how bad acting she is. I don't need her to act. Well, maybe a little. But, you know what I'm saying? Come on.
We got one for Reaper here.
Let's say Resident Weevil for 2x. Reaper, I'm from Runcorn. Does that make me... I don't even know what the fuck that word is.
Scouse.
Scouse.
No, not remotely. You're subhuman.
Oh my gosh.
I got two more, and then we'll get into this Snow White topic after that.
All right. Camel Patterson for an ass, $5. Congratulations on 50 episodes of BSUP, lads. Here's the 50 more. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you too, Camel. And I really hope it doesn't take us as long to hit the next 50. That would be great.
It won't. It will not, because I'm not going to let it.
Yeah.
So
nice.
Get my shot for a California $5. I like your mustache, Camelot. Could we get Reaper to speak in an Alabama accent and the Camelot to speak in the Scouse accent?
No, don't do it yet, guys. They got to pay for it. That's a thing.
That's true.
I really do not think that's a good idea.
I would probably butcher it. I'm gonna be honest.
How can you butcher my accent? It's fucked.
It's already butchered already.
It's destroyed.
And I'll let them, since you asked them, they get to set the amount that they'll do it for, though.
Just have a stroke. Have a stroke and you got my accent.
Oh God.
But anyway.
Well, all right. So on to the Snow White topic then, shall we?
Let's do it.
Yes, what fresh horror is it this week?
Well, as you can see by that amazing like to dislike ratio, people love this.
Is this the trailer that they just refuse to put out for?
Yes, yeah. This is the one they seem to be actively avoiding showing anyone out of fear and embarrassment. It's sitting at this is inaccurate right now because it just keeps going up. It's at 710,000 dislikes right now to 27,000 likes. And millions of views. So it's doing well. It's doing very well.
So good.
Yeah, I'm not shocked why they were so reluctant to put this stuff out there. And I also am shocked at the goblins. I mean, the dwarfs.
Yeah.
What were they? I was thinking about this the other night, man. And this is kind of related, but also kind of related. I was watching some random ass Christmas movie. It was Elf. I've never seen Elf, and I've heard about it for years, and I've seen clips from it. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to watch Elf for some reason. And guess who was in Elf? Peter Dinklage's little ass. Peter Dinklage, I just thought about it. I was like, this is why he ruined the entire world, because he pulled the ladder up so hard. He's like, you know what, little bitches? I am the only little bitch for the rest of eternity. Pulls it up, and then Disney's like, damn, it's actually offensive if we hire these people for money. Better fire them all. And now look what we got. We got the most weird ass, spooky. What is it called? The Valley, Spooky Valley,
Uncanny Valley,
little dwarf dudes, and they are terrifying. And I'm like, what were you thinking? What were you thinking? God, no wonder he's got a billion downvotes. Jesus, man.
Yeah, you know what would have been a great idea if Peter Dinklage would have went to Disney after the whole backlash. If he would have been like, "Listen, I'm gonna play all 7 dwarves, but different makeup for every single one of them." That would have been like funny and kind of a big fuck you. And 2, I'm like, I would watch that. I would watch that. And I have to say also, why do people keep hiring Peter Dinklage as like a villain or whatever? The dude is not intimidating at all. Like I watch movies where he's a villain. I'm all like, I'm not scared of you, not one fucking bit. And it's not because he's a little person.
He is.
I'm like, so
But he's cunningly made it so you're not allowed to hire any other dwarf except him. Like
he's the Pedro Pascal of little people.
He is, but if you hire any other little person, height challenged chappy, then it all goes wrong, because then you get accused of being insensitive and just using dwarfs for comic relief. Not that there's anything funny about Peter Dinklage.
Well, he's created a dwarf shortage.
He did it on a podcast, the Mark Maron podcast 3 years ago. He called out Disney for once they announced they were going to do this. He called them out for not being progressive enough, just by the sheer fact that they were remaking this.
If you've got Rachel Ziegler in your movie, how can you be more progressive? Every time she opens her mouth, it's like every single bad person, bad idea of what that type of person is just comes straight out. I don't think you can be any more progressive than keeping her in that role.
Yeah, it's really strange because stuff will kind of die down for a little while, not completely, and then an interview comes out and she just completely resets the clock by like 2 years, almost like a damn cooldown on World of Warcraft. She clicks it again, and then we have to go through this hell. And for some reason, I think that happened right before this trailer came out again. So I'm like, what are you doing? Just don't let her talk. Put a muzzle on her and just don't let her do any interviews ever again.
Yeah, she's
Absolutely.
like a fiend. Every time she has one step forward, which is, it seems like it's because of Disney's PR team, like pushing her to do it. She puts her foot in her mouth all by herself a few months later again. And it's always right before something major, like a trailer release or something too. Super unfortunate for that production.
I think that's way too nice of a description. She's like cancer. She goes into remission and then she comes back worse.
yeah,
I described it like a drug fiend, and her, her drug of choice is attention.
Yeah, both of those are good descriptions, though. Yeah, I followed her way before she became famous because I'm like a theater kid. So I followed her on Instagram, and she's always been like progressive and outspoken about stuff. But then she became famous, and I'm all like, honey, you got to play the game. And right now the game is to shut your fucking mouth. And that's the problem with bitches. Sometimes they don't know when to shut the fuck up. And I'm just like, and if I could just backtrack for just a hot second, this release strategy for this trailer is so freaking unusual. And I'm all like, it didn't work. And I'm all like, why is Disney like doing the dumbest shit these days when it comes to marketing? Like, I'm all like, you got your Snow White, you're obviously going to release it. I would try to do as best as I could when it comes to like what Warner Brothers did with that Batgirl movie. I would try to get a tax write-off if possible, because they spent so much money on this movie, and apparently obviously nobody likes it. So Rachel Ziegler sucks. So
it's actually too late now, because now they've officially advertised for it. Once you officially advertise for something, you can no longer use it as a tax write-off.
Man, that's a bummer for them. Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah, it's the thing with her is, and this is like a lot of celebrities, but she's young, kind of, and like outspoken. So a camera gets in front of her, and she's surrounded by all these people that believe this like asinine stuff, or well, they don't really believe it, they just say it to increase their job opportunities, and that's all she hears. But it's such a small little bubble. Like if you go into like a rural ass Alabama where I am, and you hear somebody talking about masculinity and blah, 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 and how it's hurting people, nah, dude, you are going to get chopped up as well as the wood. Okay, don't play with that.
Yeah, it's so funny how these people talk about shit that normal people. I'm all like, I don't know anybody that talks about the shit that you guys talk about. Like, what's going on here? Like, nobody cares. Nobody cares. You're so stupid. You're so stupid.
But she's the only one who sort of didn't get the memo, because she just couldn't hold it in after the election, and she thought, no, I have thoughts that the world needs to hear, is what Rachel Ziegler told herself. nobody else believed it. But like, you've got other people coming out, like Sarah Silverman came out and said, I'm not talking about politics anymore because no one wants to listen to celebrities. That's sensible. You had Ellen DeGeneres, who did in fact leave the country. She came to England. England immediately flooded because lesbians, I guess. So like most of these people kind of got the memo, but Rachel Ziegler didn't, and I don't think she ever will really. So like she's great for the YouTube economy, but she's not gonna. Well, actually, no, that was gonna be my question. Do we think this will severely damage this movie, or are the kind of people who would have liked this movie the type of person who to be unmoved by a Rachel Ziegler outburst?
Oh no. So I think things have started to almost like blend or fade into like the normies. So that I feel like that's why the election was so wild in this country. It was just outrageous because the normal people, the normal everyday people that will just consume whatever dribbles just fed to them are starting to be like, wait a second, those dwarfs are CG. Where's the dwarfs? Why is she ugly? And I think that everybody's going to think that way. You know what I'm saying? Because like Moana 2, like I just go see Moana 2. It's fine. And then just worry about Moana 2 for a few months. There's so many options out there. You can watch so many things. Disney Plus, you got all the things you need. You don't need to see the damn weird ass Snow White movie that looked like somebody threw up a rainbow the whole time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree with that. And I just want to say, like, when it comes to, like, for instance, I have 2 children. One is a girl, and she's like the girliest girl ever. So she loves all the Disney princess nonsense and everything. But I showed her the trailer for this. I was like, you want to go see this? And she's like, no, that's okay. And I was like, are you sure? She's like, no, it's okay. And I was like, all right. So I was like, you. And so it's very obvious that there's something going on with this movie that even my 9-year-old doesn't care about. And you guys can keep Ellen DeGeneres. You guys can keep
Oh God. But like you said, I think kids can see it too. Like I think everyone can see it. Every human can see it, right? But just because something is a kid's movie or a kid's TV show doesn't necessarily mean kids are going to discount it being atrocious, right?
Yeah.
Like you can go back and watch Aladdin and Lion King from like the early 90s and they're still solid as hell.
Yeah, so good.
Right? So that's the point is I think as a kid, I remember stuff that sucked when I was a kid. I was like, yep, that's trash. And I still think it's trash to this day. And I think kids can see through that. I think what these studios unfortunately thought was kids would just consume anything or parents would just allow their kids to consume anything. But unfortunately for them, the kids aren't spending the money, the parents are. So you need to make it appeal to them, at least to some, degree.
Yeah,
it doesn't look like an event film to go to the theater for. It 100%. Looks like the same. It looks like the same generic live action remakes we've gotten over and over. It doesn't look special. It doesn't like literally the cinematography just looks like the same like bland CGI stuff. Like I described the hag that she turns into at the end, so you get a glimpse of like the old lady she becomes, and she just looks like someone put like one of those Snapchat filters over her. It looks horrific. It's not colorful. It's like all muted. It looks like Zack Snyder directed it. It's like all these live action remakes have that sheen to them,
I'm gonna write that down.
Well, that means we're gonna get a second one if it's gonna be the Snyder cut of Snow White.
Well, and speaking of that, the color when you watch the trailer, right? The color is so like it's very doom and gloom. It's very gray, and I'm all like,
right.
Didn't they make this movie with that Twilight girl like 10 years ago? And what's her face?
Snow White and the Huntsman.
Yeah, didn't they make this movie already? Just with different actors. I'm all like, you got a girl boss, and you got the evil queen who's hot as shit.
They've made it like 8 times in the past 12 years. This fucking movie.
Yeah, I'm all like, I'm like, it's ridiculous. But yeah, go watch Moana 2, even though I haven't seen it. Go watch Moana 2.
I have one. I love it. I love the first one. I'm not ashamed to say it. Damn it, I watch it all the time.
I did not like the first one, but that's okay.
I love it.
Little Mermaids was conceptually fucked. I mean, you didn't have Rachel Zegler, the fucking horrible, horrible human being, but like Little Mermaids itself was shit. Nobody wanted to see it, and it flopped. Was this one? You've got the same situation where they've race swapped Snow White, but you've also got a fucking piece of shit actress. So it's even worse in that situation.
Well, that's the thing too. Like Gal Gadot is not even like she's offensively bad as an actress, but
she's hot.
Like, yeah. Well, no, and that's the thing. They did their damnedest to mute her beauty. to try and like dumb her down to match Rachel Zegler, because you have to suspend your disbelief that Gal Gadot is jealous of Rachel fucking Zegler.
Yeah,
what does the fairest of them all mean?
They've been trying this whole time. They've been trying to sell this idea this whole time. And then they even tried to do the whole conveniently changing the definition. Like, oh, fairest means like she's nice, not actually like she's hot or anything. And I'm like, doubt it. The only way you could save this movie is if the damn the witch lady, if she was just in a thong the whole time. That's it. And it would have done well. But you only had one shot to go back and do that. It's over now.
They just turned to lesbians.
Yeah, there's got to be something sexy and not the dwarves, you know, and no one's sexy like that. That's just the thing, man. Stop making films not sexy. You saw it with the most recent the game that came out the other day. They have character models that have ass cheeks, and guess what? Everybody's playing it. Shocking. Yeah. Who knew that everyone loved ass cheeks?
And I think if you go back and you watch the original 1939 movie, evidently so, Snow White is very likable. She's very like, she's very like, pure and everything, but they totally changed the character to this boss girl, and she's going to save her kingdom like her daddy told her to and everything. And I'm all like, why would you change something so wholesome into, because Snow White has to do something. And I'm all like, is falling in love not good enough anymore? Is that a bad thing nowadays?
Isn't the prince a rapist?
I mean,
because he tries to save her.
I don't know if he goes that far, but he's
that was one of the things Ziegler tried to say in one of the really bad interviews she did when she was talking about how the fact that he kisses her without consent or something is just dodgy. It's weird. So that had to be changed. And yeah, she has, like all heroes do, she has to go from being nice, demure, polite, trying to help out the dwarves because she's a good person, to being a craver after power, like all heroes have to be in R. So yeah, they do seem to have slightly missed the point of the original story, just a little bit.
Well, she becomes a commie. She goes, rise, proletarians, kill the bourgeois.
Little people of the world unite, yeah.
There was even that slight change in the song where she was no longer going to use the broom. She was going to hand that duty off to somebody else.
She just gives it off to the dwarf. No, because she actually doesn't in the trailer. She hands it away so they can carry on being her serfs. Again, that is proper communism, though. So
I'm looking forward parasite.
That's I don't like. If that's just them missing the point of the song, or because the weird CGI monstrosities they've cooked up can't actually handle movement with someone who's holding a broom. Maybe there was some technological requirement for that, but
and that's another thing about this movie is like, it's like I don't understand, like, even if you like when you watch it, like the huntsman that's gonna kill her, even he is so dull. He's like, run into the woods, and I'm like, what? You can't even, like, you picked a black guy for it, and you can't even like make him as exciting as the huntsman from the original movie. At least that guy was all wide and be like, run to the woods. It's like this movie is so, like, it's not fun, it's not funny, and I hope it bombs.
There's probably some sort of contractual requirement for any film that has Gal Gadot in it. You're not actually allowed to act too hard, because the harder you act, the worse she's going to look every single time.
Yep, 100%. I do think it'll be a nightmarish flop, because for one, it's not the most popular Disney movie. I mean, it may have been at one point in time, a long time ago, but it's not really anymore. They've delayed it about 15 times. It doesn't look impressive. The trailer's creepy. Snow White's supposed to be beautiful. She's not. She's supposed to be Snow White. She's not. Gal Gadot is a terrible actress. I just don't foresee anything working out. And no one's really interested. All we're interested in is downloading it. And I feel like that's going to be its only success, being downloaded into it.
But they're saying, no, like, the fairest of them all. It's like, it should just go, mirror, mirror, who's the fairest? And he goes, you, the end.
It would be a great turn of events and, averting expectations if Snow White ends up becoming the villain. Like, at the end, she's the big monster, and you're like, oh, I didn't see that coming. I'm like, bravo, you guys changed it up a little bit. But that won't happen.
Snow White 2, apocalypse now.
She just gets hit by a train. Ideally.
Do you think this will do worse than The Little Mermaid? Because that didn't
Well, it did badly
officially a bomb
in cinemas, right? But it made quite a
Yes.
bit back on streaming. So actually, overall, it didn't do as badly as the early numbers suggested that it would. It
Right.
just like no one was interested in going to paying to go and see it. But it's the kind of thing they were happy to watch if they'd already paid the subscription.
Right. So might it have that same kind of life because it has the same budget? It looks like it's on pace for the same hate ratio on YouTube's.
Does it have the same budget? I feel like the budget.
Yeah, it's about 250 million. It's like 240.
Yeah. Well, see, so the Little Mermaid, it hit $500 million. I just don't foresee Snow White hitting $500 million. That just seems. I feel like the Little Mermaid kind of came out, way quicker, and also there was just a lot of buzz around it. Even though it was negative buzz, there was a lot of buzz, right? And there were still like videos of kids watching the trailer and being excited about it. You just don't have that same vibe here. I just don't foresee it making $500 million.
I don't see it. Yeah. I don't either. I agree.
Well, I said it's the same situation. You've just got an actor who won't shut up.
Yeah.
Because Little Mermaid didn't have that. That girl who had the really wide eyes. I can't remember her name.
Yeah, she played it right.
Halle Bailey.
Halle Bailey.
Yeah, she had like fish eyes on the side of her head. Yeah,
she did. They didn't even have to CG those to make her look more sort of South African. That naturally looked like that. Yeah, people. I might have been one of them calculating like the cost of an Uber ride between her eyes, for example. It's like, it's not the cheapest journey you'll ever take.
Do you think someone had to?
No, go ahead. No, you go ahead, Reaper.
Do you think whenever they said cut, someone had to push the eyes back in and you keep drifting off?
But no, that's a good point. Halle Bailey, she played it right. She was. I thought she was charming. I thought she, besides the Little Mermaid, I'm a fan of her and her sister and everything, and they can sing. And she came off nice and everything. Unlike Rachel Zegler, who just comes off very unapproachable. She obviously does not like people in general, let alone Trump supporters. And I just think that I don't understand why they pick certain actresses and then they try to make them happen. And when the public does not want anything to do with them, they just keep pushing them. And I'm like, listen, she stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not working. Okay. Nobody likes Rachel Zegler. She's an asshole. So
her latest movie just bombed this weekend, did it not?
Oh yeah,
it did.
Yeah,
I'll get the numbers and see.
I don't understand. It reminds me of Ezra Miller. It's like you see these people that everyone hates that just keeps appearing in roles every other day, and I'm like, does the casting couch thing they did still owe them? Like, oh, we're gonna give you 5 movies, okay, if you take your drawers off. And I'm like thinking to myself,
quite loyal.
Have they not got the 5 movies yet? Can they just break the contract? Like, come on. Like, they really.
Yeah, those producers are quite nice people, aren't they? Those producers don't have to give them 5 movies. I think the Me Too's way too nice on women.
Oh, I can't believe it.
So it was a $15 million budget for Y2K, made 2.1. So we're talking like, much smaller numbers than we usually talk about, but that's still bombing ridiculous.
That sucks for that production. The Zegler effect.
Damn.
Oh, yeah.
Has she been in anything that's made money?
So the movie last year broke even, right? The prequel
Hunger
or whatever
Games.
to the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Yep. I believe it broke
West
even.
Side Story entirely in Spanish. You had Shazam 2.
Yeah,
that was a
bomb. Oh god, I keep forgetting that even exists, and she was in that, wasn't she? Yeah, Shazam 2. What a movie.
Hunger Games. This and was a Y2K.
Yeah.
So that's basically 3 bombs, 1 break even, and I don't know about this Snow White.
Huge movie star, that Zegler.
Yeah.
I mean,
sorry.
You have to imagine what she did. What did she do behind closed doors to keep getting jobs, man? It's wild.
Oh, everything.
Everything
a princess shouldn't do.
She does the weird stuff.
Anything else on the Zegler or Snow White topics then, I suppose?
When's it out? Is it like middle of next year?
March.
Oh, not even the middle. March next year.
Yeah.
Hooray.
They're jumping the gun a little bit on it. That you would think that a big release they'd want to push back a little further than that, but I think they're trying to get this out of the way as quickly as possible. It seems. I'm surprised they're not just bumping it right up to January.
The actual dumping grounds, that would be rough.
Yeah. Do they, like, they have several projects? I mean, you mean just Disney proper, or you mean all their
Yeah, because it might be like a
subsidiaries?
quarterly financial release.
Yeah, I mean, they have obviously the Marvel stuff that's coming out next year with Captain
Winter
America
Soldier.
or
No,
Captain Falcon.
Captain America.
Yeah, Captain Falcon.
Oh God.
And what was it? And Thunderbolts. But those are also like pretty front loaded. I feel like they're very front loaded next year. It's like March, May, and I think Thunderbolts is pretty early too.
Yeah, and Fantastic Four as well, right? And that's July.
I'm looking them up right now. Let's see.
It's like a never-ending car crash.
It is, but it also says something to think about, like how fallow this year has been. That we're kind of looking forward to next year for the next relevant thing to come out.
Yeah, Thunderbolts is May 2nd of next year, and then let's see, February 14th. Yeah, they're very front loaded next year. It's Fantastic Four. That one, I think that one's later, if I recall correctly. I think that one's like in like the summer. Yeah,
Wow.
July. So that's all in the first 7 months they have those releases.
Watch out if you use Blacked in America. You will be called racist if you use it in a video.
I'm going to use way worse things.
I wouldn't know from experience of using it in the first 20 seconds of a video or anything.
Oh, you should. You're instantly demonetized. Then you're free to say anything you want. That's what I found.
Yeah, basically. Yep. Well,
what's coming out this month anyway? Because isn't there like a lot of
Nosferatu? I'm sorry.
Mufasa's coming out. Kraven.
Oh shit! Yes, right. The War of the Ride of the Horse people. Rohirrim. That's this week, isn't it? No, it's the 13th. That's coming out, I think.
Yeah,
So
well, yeah.
Friday.
It's no, it's this week. It's the
Friday. What week are we even in? Oh, it's Monday today. Shit. Yeah, no, it's this week.
Where am I?
I have no idea.
It's very soon. And I feel like Aaron Taylor Johnson. I don't know why. I just really like this guy.
I like him too.
It's something about his face.
Yeah, he's a good actor. He just picks, dumb shit. Like, I don't understand people that are actually talented, why they pick stuff and then nobody knows where they went, and then they do stuff like this movie. I'm all like, which don't get me wrong, I am excited for it because of him, but I'm just like, I don't understand why he didn't try to get something bigger than like all these little movies that he does. It's really like it's just weird.
Yeah, but look at Henry Cavill. He tried to pick a good things and they keep raping him.
That's a good point. That's a good point. At least he tried to get Superman was a big deal. At least he tried to get something big, like for instance.
And then he had Zack Snyder.
Right, that's the thing. It's like the Twilight guy. What's his name? Robert Pattinson. Yeah, he picked Twilight, which was a good move, and then he just went and did all these little movies, which haven't been that bad actually. But like, I'm like, whenever you bring up, what was that movie that he did with the Safdie brothers? I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. But when you bring that up, nobody knows what you're talking about that he's in it. So I'm like, why don't you guys no, it was he plays like a druggie with like a brother who has special needs or whatnot. And,
I don't know.
I can't remember. It's really good if you get a chance to watch it. So good that I remember the name. But I wish Aaron Taylor Johnson was bigger than he is.
He does seem to have sort of poor timing, maybe not the best agent. And then whenever something relatively big seems to be a prospect, because he was rumored to be the new James Bond for a time, wasn't he? But then that got rowed back as well. So he just seems to have quite bad luck, and there's no good time to get into superhero movies anymore. It's not just like sloppy seconds of turning up to Marvel way after he should have done. But it's not even Marvel. It's a Sony movie. It's Sony Marvel, which is the worst of all worlds. He gets to share stage with Madam Web and Morbius and play a character who no one's ever heard of, who's apparently going to be an animal-loving vegan or something. Fuck knows. But it's just, terrible, terrible choice. He should have learned to say no.
I mean, that is a good point.
He was in the MCU already, but he was only in one movie because he was Quicksilver and died.
Quicksilver, that's the one. Yeah, and
he died
Age of Ultron.
Hawkeye of all characters.
Yeah, they killed him off, and they killed off the way cooler character. I was like, "Thank you, Joss Whedon. You're so good at making decisions."
At least he left us with the classic line of "You didn't see that coming." So
Such a memorable character. Yes, I remembered that he was in that movie when you mentioned that he was in that movie, the Ultron film, which is also probably one of the worst of the mainline Avengers movies. So again, probably bad luck on his part.
Yeah.
So Kraven or
it.
War the Rohirrim? Which do you think's better?
Kraven.
Possibly Kraven. Is War of the Rohirrim was an interesting one. I saw some people saying about like the box office for that is not looking especially positive, but I don't think it's even getting a full theatrical release, is it? Because it's like I judge that purely based on is it coming to my local cinema, the one that they didn't shut down because no one goes anymore, and I don't think it's coming to my local cinema, which means it's probably not a full theatrical release. Plus, it's got to get over the animation bias. I think lots of people who might otherwise have been interested in the Lord of the Rings thing will look at it and say, well, it's anime, so it's for kids, so we're not going to go and see it. Whereas Kraven's still got, generic, it's Christmas time, it's a superhero thing, it might just be brainless fun, so...
It won't be fun.
Probably not. Well, it could be. I hope it will be. It could be Madam Web all over again. That's sort of the best we can.
Well, they released the first 8 minutes of this movie because in this pathetic attempt to try and drum up some excitement for it. So.
They did for Kraven, or
you can go watch the first 8 minutes of Kraven.
Listen, when it comes to Madam Web, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, you're good.
I was just gonna say, when it comes to like Madam Web, the movie is shit, but I laughed so hard. I had a good time in the theater with that one. I was cracking up so much. It was so good. I was like, this is ridiculous. I love it. So I'm looking forward to Kraven.
No, I don't think we're gonna get that. I think we're just gonna get a bad movie, not
bummer.
much fun because it's bad kind of movie like Madam Web was. Because the director seems to really he said something along the lines of like he doesn't want the audience to be discouraged by all of the previous Sony shits that they've shat out over the last couple of years, and to please come see our movie. And so they released the first 8 minutes, and it's really not anything special at all. So it's probably just going to be this really bland, generic superhero fare, and it doesn't even make sense. This guy is not even a protagonist; he's an antagonist. Like this is how this character functions best. And so he's just your generic anti-hero.
Yeah, I really wish they wouldn't have made all these movies, these superhero movie or these villain movies without Spider-Man, because I'm like, there's just like nobody, like Kraven the Hunter in the comic books is not a good guy. Like he hunts and then finally he's all like, I need something to hunt that's not an animal, and he hunts down Spider-Man, like he's hunting Spider-Man. I'm all like, this would be like the original what they wanted to do was, sorry, I'm getting off on a little tangent, was in Black Panther. They wanted to use him as the bad guy and like have a commentary on wild hunting in Africa. And I was like, that's actually a pretty good idea, but they didn't want to split the profits with Sony because they that made $1 billion, and they're like, we're not giving you our money, fuckers. So yeah. But the problem is they have the rights to all these Spider-Man characters, and they just don't know how to use them properly. Like, if you're going to make a movie on one of these characters without Spider-Man, they can be bad guys. Venom doesn't have to be a good guy. Like, you could do Agent Venom, like from the comic books, and him still be a bad guy. He's just an operative for the American government. So I don't know. I just don't think they know how to, like, use these characters properly and, like, and take from the comic books what you can that'll actually work on film. And that's another thing. They're not fans, and I mean that's like a huge problem in my opinion.
Just be likable. Like the first couple seasons of The Boys, a lot of people really enjoyed it, and their favorite character was Homelander, and he was the most morally fucked up person that has ever existed. And everybody loves this character. You can easily make a villain just likable, and everybody will like it. But everybody's so worried about like towing this gray line of morality. Like the bad guy has to be good, but he also has to be bad, but he also has to be redeemable. But he also has a really good side, which they also do in almost every other film nowadays. The bad guy's never just bad. It's always a reason. Like
way less distinctive. I mean, The Penguin's another good example of like a show which is made a main character out of a villain who doesn't have to be good. And the villain isn't the proximate threat. Sorry, the hero, Batman, is not the proximate threat in that show. And yet people still find the character engrossing. You can do it. They just really don't know how. And because you kind of get the sense that they are hoping that eventually they'll get to use Spider-Man. I just don't think they ever will. They're just going to be constantly cock-blocked for trying to use him. So they're assembling this evil villain team to just basically sit around and do nothing.
like basics. Number one is how to make these characters work is put them in the context in which they were created, which is with Spider-Man. And you can't really do that. Like the Penguin works and he is in a world where Batman exists. And the Sony characters are literally in a world where Spider-Man doesn't exist right now. And they are centralized to his character. Like they need to be connected to him, or you get these shitty movies, regardless of what they do. Reaper, and now that Penguin's over, what did you think of the season?
I didn't finish it. Every stream I'm on, I'm asked about the Penguin. It's ended. Let it go.
Yeah.
I mean, you set yourself up for that.
It was on open bar. I didn't even ask a question, and people go, "What do you think about the Penguin?" I will finish it soon. It's
yeah, I've yet to finish it as well.
God, it's like it's haunting me, that show.
I thought it might.
I think I said it a few weeks ago that they could have worked their way around it was when we did Venom, that they could have easily worked around the not having Spider-Man thing by using Scarlet Spider. It's Spider-Man just with a different name, and they could have easily worked around that, and they just decided not to. And
yeah, no, that's a good idea.
And they also what Camelot was saying, the morality thing. It's almost as if all these characters, all these movies are being written by assholes in Hollywood that are actually the villains. So they think that the villains should be good guys. That's exactly what's going on. We can't have villains. We're villains.
The guy who made The Boys, he went, The Boys is punk rock. And it's like, you work for Amazon, the most corporate company there is. They're that delusional.
Well, that's punk rock now, right? Like, if you actually look at it, punk rock's now just agreeing with all the corporations and everybody in power.
I don't know how that happens. Opinions as the government.
The exact same opinions as the government. We're so punk rock and we're rebels, bro. And I'm like, but you believe literally the exact same stuff that the corporate companies are feeding us. They're like, it's fine.
They don't even see that. They're that fucking delusional. Their head is so far up their own ass. They don't even see any of this.
Yeah. It's like a Rage Against the Machine. Like they're this. Oh God, it hurts.
Machine.
Yeah, it hurts me. They're like, oh, make sure you vote this way, bro. I'm like, oh, what are you doing? No, it's sad.
Yeah, Kraven looks shit.
Yeah.
To summarize, the Kraven looks.
What's the AI summary of this conversation? Kraven looks like shit.
Yeah, this film looks like cancer. War of the Rohirrim doesn't look any better. Is there any early reviews of that? Because I thought people have seen it.
Not that I'm aware of. The review embargo is still up.
I thought it was impressions of some people going the story's not great, but the animation was basically most people's impression.
One thing that I'm shocked about, 0.9 out of 10 right now, but I don't even know if those are real reviews yet or not.
One thing I'm shocked about is it's over 2 hours. I'm a little shocked about that. I figured it because this is basically them extrapolating out one smaller event that isn't fully fleshed out in the books, right?
Basically, with the main character who gets a single mention and never named, so naturally she's now the protagonist.
And they called her Hera, the Greek goddess.
Yeah, the Greek goddess. It fits perfectly with Tolkien's expert knowledge of Anglo-Saxon. Greek, Saxon, kind of the same. So I mean, I'm intrigued by it. I'm not really expecting anything except what seems to be the consensus already, which it will look okay and probably scan horribly. Another Rings of Power would be funny. Yeah, 3 or 4 pages is about the most of it. It's tiny, and so they've spun 2 hours. But then they're not the only people to do that, because you've got the Hunt for Gollum thing coming up, and that's only about a paragraph of text as well.
Philippa Boyne said if this does well, she's going to expand it into a big animation universe. So it's just
Lord of the Rings cinematic universe in animation.
Basically, yeah. They'll just keep making stories.
Well, that probably won't happen because she said if it does well. So
if it does well, yeah, that's a big if. The if is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that statement.
Yeah.
I mean, they could work if you can turn one paragraph into a 2-hour movie. Then you can make films forever. But yeah, they do actually have to be good and make money. And I don't even know what the budget is for this one. Is it comparable to a standard feature film, even though it's animated, or is it less?
It doesn't have it where I'm looking. Let me take a look. Let's see.
Yeah, but the box office is going to be way lower. So you got to take that into account.
Because there's not a huge. Apparently, it's like 93 million. At least that's my quick scan for the old budget. Yeah, like you can't imagine it's going to do as well as a main feature film would, because there is still a bit of a prejudice against animation anyway.
That is true.
And it's technically it's kind of trying something new and trying to cross genres in this way. Obviously, not being a standard live action and blending what people associate with as being Japanese kids shows and Lord of the Rings material. So they're taking a risk on that front. I get this nasty feeling that will be the only risk it does take, and the story's going to come out and it'll be exactly the same as every other female-led movie that you've seen for like the last 10 years, which is just going around from fight to fight while occasionally a grumpy man in the background says a line, and that's like the extent of heroism.
They still don't have any showings in my area, and and I've said, as everyone knows, I'm in a pretty populated area. The only one theater is showing it pretty far away from me, and there's 3 showings on opening day, so that's not boding particularly well for.
Really? I've got 5 and I live in a shithole.
That's weird. I mean, it might just be that they're taking a long time to update.
I don't know why I've got it.
It might just be taking long to update. Sometimes that because my theater's Cinemark, sometimes they just take forever to update, and you don't get the update until like Wednesday before the Thursday releases.
Yeah, it's every theater in my city has it, which is, I guess.
Yeah, me too.
What was the line from the trailer where he goes, "I'm not afraid of you," and she goes, "You should be."
It's that kind of quality dialogue that Tolkien is known for, don't you know? That's a direct quote from the books, apparently, or not.
This is why you've got to start hitting your writers.
Yeah, fuck it. I being a writer and sitting in writers' rooms, I can attest. Yeah, a bit of physical violence, corporal punishment would actually make us way more productive. Ideally, though, you start hitting them before they get employed, so they learn the lessons young, and then they take it off into later life.
Here's a super chat from before that kind of was related to what you were talking about. I missed. Do you want to take it, Platoon?
I can. Richard shot for €6. Moana 2 is bad. It is a bad sequel. Everyone's stuck on the island again. As a standalone, well, 80% of the characters are completely irrelevant. I have never even seen the original, and I know nothing about it either. So,
it's a masterpiece.
Is it? What's so good about it?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I can't explain it. But after like my 100th playthrough, it's just magic. So like, okay, here's the actual story. When I worked at GameStop back in the day, we'd be really dead. It was like, I don't know, it was whenever Moana came out, I was working there. And we'd be really, really dead. So for some odd reason, my assistant manager, she would always put on Moana on this tablet. And it would just be playing all day, every day. And for some reason, I just dug its claws in me. And now I'm like, yeah, I love that movie.
That sounds like you were brainwashed.
Yeah.
You were forced to watch the same movie over and over again.
I was just going to say, that sounds more like Stockholm Syndrome. Actual
tortured.
It became a part of me. Can't help it.
We do have our oh, sorry. I'm sorry, Reaper. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Moana 2 was supposed to be a TV show, so it's got like this big ensemble of characters it does nothing with, because each episode was supposed to follow a family member. So it just they just shilled it for a movie.
I find it odd they're doing a live action remake of that already. Like they've
yeah.
I saw some
greedy. The greedy bastards. That surprises you.
Well, I just find it like that movie's not old. Am I wrong? Like I haven't seen it. So.
No, it's
the
like
greedy little bastards. How many times must you learn this?
Yeah, when that came out, my daughter was like not even 1. So it's what is it, like 8 or 9 years old? So I mean, it's not that old. Plus, nobody wants a live action remake of Moana. It's so weird that they do this stuff.
They're only doing it because The Rock is age appropriate for the character that he plays right now.
I saw him in his weird bodysuit. It's so bizarre looking.
Yeah.
Like you put a guy who's already like 275 pounds inside a muscle suit. It just kind of looks weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he
I'm
could have just
surprised.
ate more steroids. That's all he needed to
He
do.
could have done.
It's
Why does
fine.
he even still need work after, as he promised, Red 1 came out and it was game over.
Game over.
Like, it's transformed cinema forever. Does he even still need a job?
He says that about every movie that he's in, though.
Did anyone see that?
Yeah.
No.
I still want to, just to see what it's like, because they've basically stolen the premise of that South Park episode and then just extended it, and they've probably made it worse. So
yeah,
I'm
is
intrigued.
that Netflix
Chris
that
Evans.
that made that, or is it because it's
No,
going to
it
go
was,
to
it was a full release. Red 1, that was a full release.
yeah, but wasn't it? Was it Netflix that made that movie, or was it? I thought it was either that or Amazon. I don't know, but I'll watch it when it comes to streaming. I'm not going to pay for that at the movie theater.
No, I'm not giving The Rock any of my money ever again.
But I got Amazon and Netflix, so I'll watch it if it's on there.
Yeah, it's Amazon. It's distributed by Amazon and internationally by Warner Brothers.
They've got too much money.
Netflix actually they bought like 4 or 5 theaters like in random cities. One of them's in New York City, and they do like pre-releases of a lot of their things that are on they're going to be releasing. That's how I saw Rebel Moon like 2 weeks early. It was a horrible experience. A horrible experience.
Did you watch the extended cut?
No, I never will. I'm done. I did 2 reviews on Rebel 1 and Rebel 1 2, and I'm never watching it again. Rebel Moon.
Add an hour of pointless slow motion scenes.
It isn't. Yeah. It does. It makes no sense.
I think you guys might like this one. We get a weekly 50 spot from Toivo Korhonen, and these are always great.
Let's get some women on the casting couch. You've got these 3 actors and these 3 roles. You do the casting. The actors, I dispute that one of these is an actor, but fuck it. The actors are Lizzo, Dakota Johnson, and Sarah Jessica Parker, and the roles are Wine Aunt Barbie, Elsa in the Disney live-action Frozen, and Catwoman. I would like to see Lizzo as Catwoman. I think that would be very funny. She has to do her own stunts, or at least try. I want to see that. That could be fun.
She's fat house Catwoman.
She'd smell like burnt bacon.
Oh God.
Sarah Jessica Parker is the right age for a Wine Aunt Barbie, isn't she? How old is she now?
Like
she's got to be like in her 60s now.
Yeah.
Been around for a while.
I would love to see I would love to see a Lizzo take off the Catwoman outfit.
She's 59. She's just shy of 60. So
yeah, she just looks like how you open a can of biscuits, just like
it just all falls. I would like to see Lizzo as Elsa in the live action Frozen.
Hey, it's fucking cold out here, girl.
And I'm like,
she just break through the ice.
How do you keep that calorie intake up, girl, out here in the cold? Damn.
Getting in my macros.
She's like a whale. She'd survive the cold.
Oh man.
So I guess that just leaves Dakota Johnson as Elsa then.
I mean, I'd watch all this. I would watch this. I just want to say that right now. I'd watch Lizzo as Catwoman.
Toivo always has some good casting couch calls here. Once a week.
This is probably my favorite part of every show. I'm trying to get it out as quick as possible in the crack between the
Lizzo's no, I'm not going in that direction.
No, not that crack. No.
Imagining the famous whip scene with what's her name as Catwoman, but having Lizzo do it instead. That's the one. That would be a look.
Gosh. Well, now I want to see all of these. I want to see all these.
Put up a couple more super chats while we're at it.
Paul Connolly for 20 fake dollars. Hail panel. I'm probably the only person who's really dreading what Sony will do to Kraven. I actually find him a really interesting character, obsessing over capturing Spider-Man to prove himself the greatest hunter ever. Yeah, he has one of the greatest stories in Spider-Man's lore too. So, you would want to see a character like this done justice. I kind of always felt like that's why they hung on to him, because they wanted to do it right. And now you're getting the Sony Spider-Verse version. So probably not going to be done right.
It's like a monkey's paw. You get what you wish for, but badly.
They've already missed the trick by not leaning into the meme thing. That they could have had the trailer saying, I was in the African bush hunting rhinos with my mom when she died. I would be more inclined to go and watch the movie if they'd done that, and they haven't.
Somebody had said before it was my mother was studying lions in the jungle when she was pregnant with me.
Give my chat for California $5. Question for the panel: who would you dock with? Kraven, Spider-Man, Superman, or Wolverine? Superman would be the cleanest. Spider-Man would be too sticky. I just read that out loud.
Yes, he did.
Kraven's easy. Kraven's easily the most attractive. You know what I'm saying? That's very important to me.
Which Superman? If it's Henry Cavill, I pick Henry Cavill.
It doesn't matter because apparently he's the cleanest one. So that's
Wolverine's hairy.
Well, Wolverine is definitely the dirtiest, but he has guaranteed foreskin because he cannot get a circumcision. So he can,
even if he did before.
That's a good point.
Before his mutation kicked in.
I had never considered that. When he got his mutation, did his foreskin grow back? Fantastic. This is the kind of quality conversation you get to have on a Monday night on this channel now, apparently.
Hey, if someone pays $5, I'll say who I'm going to dock with. I'll do it.
Well, Spider-Man will web you to the wall.
Well, some people might be into that.
Oh,
yeah, you can't get down then.
No, I don't need all that all over me.
Let's see. Oh, one more Kraven one here.
TGV Monster for $5. Kraven might do well. Never underestimate the power of hot shirtless guy, right? Camelot. Aaron is also in Nosferatu.
Yeah, that's like the only reason I have a career at all is because I look decent with my shirt off. See my face? It's fat. Got a fat ass head. All I got is my boobies. So I use them. I'm like a woman. Like a famous woman.
Yeah, if women are allowed to do it, I think we should be allowed to do it too.
Yeah.
If it gets you ahead, it gets you ahead.
100%. I'm using all I got.
I concur. I am looking forward to Nosferatu. It's gonna be so good.
That might actually be half decent as well. It might be the last half decent movie to come out. When is that due out? Is that also this week?
I think it's the 26th. No. I think it was. I think it was around Christmas time, so it might be the 25th.
Nosferatu.
Yeah. Yep, it is my Christmas movie. I've already told my family that I'm going without them.
Well, it's New Year's in the UK.
Yeah, apparently it's already out, and they did their. Well, no, that must have been their. Well, no, that must. It was. They had a December 2nd screening in Berlin. That must have been their premiere. But yeah, it actually comes out on Christmas. So
yes, it's gonna be so good.
Well, you have Sonic.
That was Sonic 3. I'm so excited for.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
That's the movie I've been most excited for all year.
Yeah, absolutely. Keanu Reeves as Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey came back.
The first two are legitimately good movies. They're not even. It's not even like good by standards of. They're just good. So
they are. Did you guys watch that Knuckles show?
I did.
That wasn't as good. They had a really weird musical episode that kind of dragged the whole thing down.
I agree with that. I liked it though. I thought it was fun.
It wasn't terrible, but it just
is it necessary at all? Does it give a decent backstory for him?
Yeah, you don't need to watch it. Yeah,
it gives a little bit of the backstory, but the whole the Drax effect, the super literal thing starts to in a little bit after about. It's okay for the first couple episodes, and then by the time you're at the end, you're like, okay, we get it. You're an idiot. Like it's.
I could see that happening. That would be why Drax is a great side character and not, lead character material.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's worth a watch through the one time. Just the one episode. I think it was like episode 4 or 5. It was a musical episode, and it was this weird puppetry thing. They were trying to explain the background of Knuckles, and it's just really strange. And you don't even need that episode. You can just skip that. You see them start singing, just skip that episode. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that one.
Well, we got Mufasa as well.
Yep, Mufasa.
That comes out the same day as Sonic 3.
Did you see that the director for that was saying, I can't remember exactly what he said, but he's like, this is not indicative of my work. And I was like, he's already distancing himself? What's going on here? I was like, it must be really bad if the director is distancing himself.
Can't wait to see Mufasa being an absolute piece of shit. Usurping Scar.
They were going to make
Taka.
Scar the misunderstood tragic villain at this point. He'll have been correct in all of his actions by the time this movie is done. The only thing I know about it is because the trailer came out, and there's a trailer called Two Brothers, which is just, if I do this movie, I'm just going to have to do the Rick and Morty thing the entire way through. They've just invited it on themselves. It's just two brothers. It's just called Two Brothers. That would make for a way better movie than Mufasa.
Yeah.
The accents are fucking annoying me.
I'll throw up a couple more super chats. Oh, sorry.
What have they done to the accents? I've not even heard them yet.
Well, I just say it doesn't. You don't have that kind of like Jeremy Irons kind of gravitas. It's just like two generic English kind of accents.
No.
It's just a bit jarring.
Who was it who played Mufasa in the Lion King remake? It wasn't Jeremy Irons. Who was it?
I mean, like James L. Jones
Wasn't
Mufasa.
it Chewie Ejiofor? Is that how you say his name?
Yes, yeah, it was actually.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
right.
Yeah. Which I just go, I'm sorry, but like they only hired black people because they're lions in Africa for that movie. And I just go, why don't you hire people that have just really great voices? Like Jeremy Irons has a great voice and he did a great Scar. And then Waving at You Vex. And then but and Chewie Ejiofor, I love that guy. He's a great actor. But watching that movie, I was like, this is lame-o stamos. I'm not interested in this at all. So
you didn't like Seth Rogen as Pumbaa?
No. I don't like Seth Rogen I don't like Seth Rogen as human being, so let alone as a warthog. So
he had like one or two good movies, and they were at the very beginning of his career, and it's been nothing since.
Yeah, now he's just an asshole on Twitter making like ashtrays in his house.
Mega Spidey Man for $5 to all. Favorite Scrooge and favorite Christmas Carol adaptation.
Muppets.
Yeah, Muppets.
Good shout.
No, that's mine. You can't have it. Get your own.
Well, I had a great childhood, so I get it.
Scrooged.
Yeah, Scrooged is.
Oh, that's a good one too. Yeah. That's a good one too.
I think the Muppets one might be the only one I've seen. I don't think I've seen any others.
What?
I'm not big on Christmas movies, except like Die Die
Hard. I kind of like the weird Jim Carrey one, that like weird recent Jim Carrey one. I don't know why.
The animation.
Oh, yeah, that one's pretty good too. Yeah,
that was spooky about it. I like it.
Yeah, I just like the Muppets one.
I saw that one.
Thrill House for $2 real. Call me Lyndon because she be on my Johnson.
Presidential humor.
Yes. Toivo Korhonen, member for 2 months. Happy 50th BSUP. I'll be turning 30 this week.
Happy birthday for this week.
Happy birthday. I hope you get everything you want.
I'm 31 this week.
Happy birthday
to you.
I'm overshadowing him.
I'm 1 year older. I'm more important.
You see someone trying to be happy, and you just have to get in there. It's like, no.
I had joy in that statement. You're closer to death. We all are.
Stitch, member for 10 months. Congrats on episode number 50, lads. Thank you, sir.
Someone keeps calling me.
Ignore it. Produce the show.
But I'm
John Doe for fuck your family, dude. John Doe for 10 fake bucks to borrow from Reginald from Wrath of Righteous. I am sick of every villain pretending that they alone deserve mercy and their actions are justified. I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
Right on. Our friend Melvin Deeply for 2 fake bucks wants to let us know, as he does every week, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is Donkey Plop.
You're wrong.
And I'm inclined to agree. James Busher for $2 with a thumbs up. Thumbs up back to you, James.
Yeah, thumbs up.
We didn't get to the main topic yet. We're just going to get through these.
All right.
The main topic is Skeleton Crew. We just never did it yet.
Oh, nothing happened.
That hasn't happened yet.
Not yet. Common People for 5 fake monies. What's your favorite Semisonic closing time lyric? Mine's till your brothers or your sisters come. Yeah.
It sounds sexual.
And this one is for me. from Paul Connolly for 5 fake monies. Question to Dark Hour. I'm curious why he has a Prussian Holy Roman Empire flag in the studio. I wanted to change things up, and I just happen to have these flags. I moved things because I got my 3D printed little green up here. And
why did you just happen to have the flag of the Holy Roman Empire?
Well, his family emigrated.
I have a lot of flags actually
from Germany.
So I do have. Well, my family is actually Austrian. And,
from the 40s,
I have a lot of flags actually. I used to really be into like medieval history and stuff. So I used to.
You good at painting? Can you paint?
I'm not good at painting. No.
Disappointment then to the family.
But yeah, shout out to Norman Barud, by the way, who I know is out in the crowd. He 3D printed this for me, and it looks really awesome. I move it. Norman Barud, he's out there he's one of my subscribers. It comes into pieces, so I don't want to pick it up because it's to ship it and stuff. But but it's really cool looking.
Norman, you did a great job.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah,
Norman Barud for $1.99. That's me. Deus Vult, epic flag.
Yeah, Norman, that's really cool. Norman, you did a great job.
But yeah, maybe I'll start changing out the flags depending on who's on the stream and stuff. Like when Drinker's here, I'll put up the Scottish flag. When I don't have a Welsh flag.
Yeah, the red flag.
But yeah, that was all. I think that was all of the. Oh no, here we go.
Giggity for $2 real. $2 real bucks for representation. Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, we have the main topic.
I thought that black kid was a girl for most of the episode until someone said him.
It did take me a while to work it out myself, actually. Yeah.
Well, he does whine like a little bitch, so I mean, it doesn't surprise me.
That was the only interesting thing I remember.
Yeah.
I don't mind this show so far. It's growing on me a little bit, admittedly from a very low base. But like it's so very tropey. The entire thing is just a trope. So you've basically already seen it several times over because you've seen all of the things that inspired it. And in some cases, they just lift scenes basically one to one. So the scene at the beginning of episode 1 where they break into the vault and they only find one credit is just a scene for scene transposition of Treasure Island. There'll be bits of the Goonies in there as well. So it's not particularly fresh. The one new and interesting-ish idea they've got is the idea that the planet they begin on is the hidden treasure planet that everyone wants to get to, which is like unusual. Normally, you have to approach that thing from the outside. But I thought the kids were pretty good for the most part. There's some basic, competent setup, payoff writing that goes on in it. I don't hate anyone or anything in it so far. It's a little bit sort of generic, but generic is better than the Acolyte, right? So it's a good start.
Well, they haven't called you a piece of shit before you've even watched it, so it's already miles ahead of everything.
Yeah, I hated this show so far. It's so bad. I'm sorry. Which respectfully, Platoon, I disagree with you that it's these characters suck. I don't think that the actors are very good at their craft. I just the whole time watching it, I was all like, and I hate how everybody's like, this was made for kids. Kids aren't watching this shit. My kids, I've tried so hard to get them into Star Wars, and I tried to get them to watch this with me because I had to cover it. It's not good at all. I hated it the whole time watching it, and I'm sick and tired of these Star Wars nut huggers being all like, Star Wars is back, and I'm like, you said that about the last show and the show before that, and I'm sorry, but Star Wars has continually put out shit after shit after shit. I'm not going to give this one a free pass just because it's got kids in it and it looks like the Goonies. I'm like, fuck that noise. It's bad, and you have to prove that it's good. So by the end of this, if it's not stellar and it hasn't blown me away, then I'm gonna be like, I was right. It was bad from the get-go, and you all were like, you were just hating on it, for no reason. I'm like, no, I had a reason, and this is the reason why. It was just building up to it. So yeah, that's my thoughts out the gate. I didn't like it, not one bit. And that's a wrap.
Am I the only one who's soft on kids? Anybody else find this a tolerable show?
So I don't think it's nearly as egregious, but there's definitely some stupidity going on with a lot of it. And I don't know how you could say you don't find any of the characters annoying, because I think that the one girl, I kept calling her, I think it's Fern, I think her name. She's really, she's like reminds me of every bitchy girl that I knew in high school that just would Yeah, it's just, but yeah, I don't want to go further into that.
Well, because like she's the one I thought that she's actually got the most going on in terms of backstory to justify her characterization. So I've seen a few people who are complaining that yes, it's just another girl pretending to be a boy, and like that's because they don't know how to write good female characters. I understand the fatigue with that sort of thing, but I do think that criticism suggests you weren't watching the show. There's actual reasons backstory-wise for her acting the way she does. She's trying to live down her parent, who is the most straight-laced of all the straight-laced teachers. She is the school superintendent. She's also a single mum, and there's something missing that's happened to her dad. And the girl is quite clearly being played to put on a front. Probably, yeah. Well, actually, no, because I suspect the thing that will happen by the end of this show is that the single mum and the single dad will get together, because it's that kind of show.
That
right?
dude has got to be the worst actor I've ever seen, by the way. The guy
he's not great, actually. You know, he's probably worse than most of the kids, which is not encouraging. But yeah, like Fern, whatever her character's name is, she's putting on like a front, a persona, and underneath there will be a scene at some point later on where she will try her bravado act on some tougher guy than the local bully. It will fail, and the vulnerability in her character will be exposed, because it happens in every other show like this. You are reasonably sure it's going to happen in this one as well. But at least she does have a reason to act the way she does, is what I'm saying. So she's not just shallow, boring girl boss character. She is secretly slightly vulnerable, a bit like Max from Stranger Things. That would be the archetype she fits into.
Yes, I lied before. I did like the mini Max Rebo kid. I did like him. What was his name? Doesn't matter. I liked him. The blue kid. Yeah, the blue kid, the elephant. I liked him. He was fun.
Oh, it's Neil, I think his
name Neil. I did like Neil.
Neil.
It's a little weird that they had a whole sequence where they made sure to show him in a bathtub. That was a little strange, but
yeah. I wanted to say something, but I can't remember. I did like, okay, I take it back. I went a little hard there. There were things I did like. Let me tell you things I did like real quick. I liked the opening sequence because I liked that ship getting attacked. That was super fun. I did like Neil. I also liked that they showed Neil had like a nuclear family. I liked that because I was afraid they would go hardcore into the wokeism and everybody's, got two moms or two dads, and there's not any, based parents, if you will. And then I did not like what's the black kid's name? Oh, it doesn't matter. I didn't like Wimp's dad because he annoyed the shit out of me. And then I thought that Fern's mom was nice, so I liked her. I was like, I get where Fern's mom is coming from. She just wants the best for her kid. Fern is an asshole though, so I don't like her.
Yeah, the father is definitely. I kept saying. I said in my script that like he acts like he's on lithium. Like he just doesn't react to what's going on around him. He's just like, "Hi, I'm here to act today." Bye.
Well, they do that really irritating thing where they, when a character walks towards something massive and important that's right in their eye line, but they don't spot it until they're standing on top of it. They do that to him at the end of episode 1. And that might be like I can't work out whether his character is written to be always tired because he's overworked, which is a part of his characterization, whether he can't act or whether he's just being given bad direction. But if the kids are doing a better job than the adult is, it's probably got something to do with him.
Yeah, the only time he ever. Oh, go ahead, Reaper. I'm sorry.
I'm saying they push that one button, the ship takes off, goes to space, leave the atmosphere, it goes to hyperdrive. I went, that's a fucking complicated button, now.
Yeah, it's the autopilot button that basically just means you can do whatever the fuck you like in your script, apparently. Yeah, the ship that is upside down and buried, and I don't know how long it's been there, but it's presumed a long time because stuff's overgrown it and no one knew it was there. One button and everything is fixed. And then in episode 2, they have the line that, well, we shouldn't move until we fix the critical systems, except that you didn't need to do that before you hyperspace to where the plot needed you to go. So it's not a perfect show by any means, but given how low the bar has been set, I think they are just about wheeling over it.
The tech girl had the perfect opportunity to show her abilities, and all she does is pass the wrench to the girl boss, and she just hits her. Well, what was the point being a tech girl?
Yeah, she uses she gets them into the ship, doesn't she? Because she's got... That will be her thing later in one of the later episodes. I do like that tech girl is just like her only thing, though. You can tell which characters they care about and which ones they don't. You've got the two like deuteragonists in Wim, I think his name is, and whatever the rebel girl's name is. Then you've got the two obvious sidekicks who have one characteristic each. Hers is Asian, so she's good with tech.
Right. Yeah. And I love that they introduced space horrors. That was super fun. You just got like the red light district just showing up. I'm all like, all right, great. I love explaining hookers to my children. Super fun. And
Yeah, that
it's
was
dead
really
again.
No, that was really strange. Actually, that they were like, "Oh, let's go over here." They go in here, and all of a sudden they just pan back, and it's a space brothel out of nowhere. Something that, but and then the woman, she had probably the dumbest line in all of the episodes. She chases them down.
Are you
so they go to her
children?
face. Are you children?
No, I'm fucking Peter Dinklage. What did you think?
Somebody wrote that, and it got past the scripting phase. It actually went all the way.
Well, she doesn't know what children are because she had them cut out of her.
Oh, dark.
At the beginning of the episode, everyone immediately knew that Jude Law was the captain.
Yeah.
Pretty distinct.
Yeah. I hope that's not like a
Even
big
with the
twist.
mask on.
I mean,
Because you can tell it's him from a mile away. I hope it's not like a big reveal. They build up over like 6 episodes. We all know.
I just assumed they weren't even going for a twist with that. I mean, it is so obvious.
Yeah.
Like, what else? He couldn't be anybody else. I mean, he sounds the same. He looks pretty much the same, absent helmet. And the last time we saw him, he was being beaten the shit out of for failing his pirate friends. Obviously, he ends up in pirate jail. I wasn't even sure they were going for a twist with that. I think it's just, oh, this is Jude Law reveal. But the twist might be whether or not he's in fact a Jedi. That's where I think we're supposed to have intrigue. That and the true nature of this planet that they come from. I'm not so interested in the Jedi angle of that. The planet kind of interests me a bit from a world building perspective, because it's the obvious thing they're doing is this is like, obviously it's been cut off from the rest of the galaxy. So they still think they're in the time of the High Republic. That's why they use Old Republic credits and all the rest of that. So that's reasonably interesting, I guess. I think if you had read the Disney comics, it wouldn't have worked quite as well, because as soon as you get that information, then you know exactly what's happening. But 99.9995% of the audience doesn't know anything about the High Republic era, so that's probably working a bit better for them.
Yeah.
Another great line that I loved was, so they've killed all the people. They've killed, like, they get on that bulk freighter right in the beginning. They kill pretty much everybody. They're clearly gonna kill this captain, and he commands them all to leave.
That
all of you pirate scum, please not even please. I command all pirate scum to get off of my freighter. And they might as well just looked at each other and started laughing. It was like, what do you do? What kind of balls do you have, dude? It
wasn't the most tactful line in the world, but that entire scene is just doing the opening of A New Hope, though. Like, down to the formation of the dialogue. It's I'm protected by the New Republic. This is a diplomatic vessel. If it's a consular ship, where is the ambassador? If it's a bulk freighter, why is your vault door closed? Like shot for shot, even, and he's even holding him up by the throat while he's doing it. So if I was the captain, I probably wouldn't have called evil pirate people scum if my life rested on them not killing me. But I've been like, I'll just open this completely empty vault, and you could see it's empty. I mean, they probably would have killed him anyway. There's nothing in it. Why are you here? I'll save you the trouble. There's nothing in it. I'm telling you the truth. Open it and find out. We're just a bulk vessel. That's all it is.
Take all the crew. Don't hurt me.
Yeah.
I'd say that at that point.
I'd recommend the sex slave to him. I go, Billy can do this. John can do that. For love of God, don't hurt me. Because that's what heroes do. They throw everyone else under the bus.
The third episode is always the one of these shows, though, that ends up being the flip the script one. So I'm wondering what's going to happen in terms of what's going to piss everybody off in the third
I think
episode.
Chris Gore said that you've got two mums at one point in an episode 3 scene. I don't know how prominent that's going to be.
No. Are they hot?
I have no idea. We have to wait until Wednesday for the titillating reveal.
I have to just say,
make or break.
If that's the big, I don't even mind that somebody has 2 moms. That part doesn't even bother me. I just I just don't think that this show is very good. So, I mean, I'm more upset that this show sucks than they have 2 moms. I don't know, man. I don't know.
It'll be disappointing if it turns out it's the trunk people. Then it's like, well, that's just pointless. Well, you don't want to see those people being lesbians. There are more interesting characters. And by interesting, I mean more attractive characters that you could turn into lesbians than the elephants.
Well, the blue kid, the elephant kid, he had a dad and a mom. He had a dad and mom. That's why
Well, we don't know that yet. We don't know what they were.
well, that's a good point. That's a good point.
He's got green fever for another alien.
That is true. Which he was attracted to the ugliest thing I've ever seen. That alien was gross.
I mean,
it looked like the female.
Can he even fuck? Like, I know the kids and stuff like that, but when they grow up, obviously, like the different aliens at all, they can't even reproduce.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
What, the trunk up the ass?
I mean, don't knock it till you try it.
They're aliens. They could do anything. They might lay eggs.
That is true. They might lay eggs.
Isn't that like Fry from Futurama? And he learns about that, the mermaids, and he just runs off. Because that's all he can do is wank on the fucking eggs, so he just runs for it.
Do you think that Jude Law is a Jedi, or do you think he's just Force sensitive?
He said he's in an interview. He said he's a new type of Jedi. Didn't he say that?
I don't know. I did not see the interviews.
Did Darth Vader kill any of them?
Right.
Well, this is for every new show, more and more people survived Order 66. It was it's become quite a regional event.
Yeah, Order 66 wasn't
an exaggeration.
Yeah, Order 66 wasn't as successful as they think it was.
I do have a theory that this was the first show that was pitched for Disney Plus, by the way, because if you think about it, it all kind of lines up. It takes place in the immediate aftermath of the original films. So it makes sense that they would have been pitching things for that era at first. Like, oh, well, what can we do like right after the movies? Number two, it is clearly kid oriented, the Goonies in space, all this stuff. It's very much aimed at the audience that they would have been saying this is good for Disney Plus. So I have a feeling that this one was shelved for a while, and it never really got past like kind of the discussion phase. And that's been my running theory, that this was one of, if not the first, then definitely along with Mandalorian, one of the first two that was pitched. It just took a while for them to get it out.
Possibly. I mean, it comes after, it's set concurrently with The Mandalorian, and there's at least one character who crosses over from The Mandalorian season 3. So in terms of timeline, it's set relatively recently. I think the pitch story is that Joe Watts and Christopher Ford together were working on Spider-Man Homecoming, I think it was, or it might have been one of the later ones, but I think it was Homecoming. And by that point, Jon Favreau was already in charge, and Joe Watts had sort of got talking to him about this idea for an Amblin-style Star Wars show, and basically said on set while doing a different movie, "What about this?" And then Favreau said, "Yeah, would you like to turn it into a full pitch?" And so he did that. And then they obviously combined with a bunch of other people who've since worked on other Disney productions and other Star Wars productions. In fact, I don't think there's any newcomers at all. Obviously, Bryce Dallas Howard is back doing something. I think every director's worked on some either Disney or Marvel before. And the writers are kind of the only encouraging things, because I don't think any of those Tom Holland Spider-Man films are excellent, but I do think they are relatively solid. And Watts and Ford did all of those, and they are writing all but 2 of the episodes of this show. They do understand what the basics of good storytelling is. It might be a little bit generic, but it's not full of absolutely incomprehensible flaws like every other Disney Star Wars thing has been. So those things sort of keep me thinking I don't think it's going to go down as a especially memorable show, but I think by the end it will go down as a slightly above the new average one.
Yeah, but average is like nothing.
Oh yeah, these days it's beneath the floor. It's fucking buried.
What's the metric?
Yeah, you're actually better off being terrible, because then at least you get the hate watches and stuff. If it's just being generic and average, and that's actually a worse situation.
Because it's not fun to make videos on at that point. Like either be, I think we said this in the last stream, be excellent or be the acolyte. Don't be in between.
Yeah. I've been able to pull out quite a few little inconsistencies and stuff. I'm trying not to attack the kids acting too much, because they are kids. I'm trying not to, they're not.
No, they don't get a free pass. I'm sorry. Nobody watched Wonder Woman 1984 and said that little Asian kid was a good actor. No, he sucked balls. These kids are bad actors. I'm sorry. Just because you're a child, you put yourself out there, you get criticism. I'm sorry. They don't get a free pass because they're 9 and 10. They suck at their job. Haley Joel Osment was a good child actor. Find a couple of those and put them in your show, okay? Don't bring me these like little kids that don't know how to act and tell me that, you know, they're good at it. It's not true. They're bad. They're bad.
I don't think that they're terrible though. I think that they're just kind of average actors. I don't think they're not like
fatherhood seems to have mellowed you out.
But no, it just seems to me. It just seems like you know, like they're not particularly terrible. They're just
that was my impression. The only one I've looked at and thought maybe you're not the best, even by the standards of a child actor, is the Asian tech girl. But then she is wearing a mask almost the whole time, so it's hard not to emote to emote not using your eyes even. The rest of them I just thought were okay. There's a few scenes where they're quite janky, but like they've obviously been given quite dodgy directions. Like when they're in the cockpit and it's going to hyperspace and they try to find the autopilot button, and the instructions were very clearly just go and mash buttons repeatedly, which is, it looks silly because it suggests that all of those buttons do nothing. And they've very clearly been told to make it look as busy as possible, but they're kids. So like a huge amount, scene by scene, will vary depending on how good you are as a director at giving them very good instructions. Apparently Jude Law became kind of like a second director when he's on set with them because he's just very good at working with kids. And obviously he wasn't in that first episode. So it'll be interesting to sort of see how they develop. But like, there's only one that I didn't think was that good.
I think we'll get a Wendy situation where he'll carry the entire show acting wise going forward.
Oh yeah, I could see that. I mean, but it's kind of what you'd expect. That he's the only big name actor in it, and he's one of the only adult actors in it as well. And he is a good actor. So like I'm looking forward to seeing how they interact actually, because I think he could play off the kids pretty well. But I will have to wait for like episode 3 before we get much more by way of that.
The problem is it's one episode a week, and there's just not enough plot to really. You don't really want to wait an entire week going, 7 days till nothing else happens.
Yeah, I'm mildly intrigued by it, but I'm not that interested. The end of episode 2 came, and my reaction was, wait, what the fuck? That was it? But not because I was so invested. It's just that I'm so used to seeing streaming shows be an hour long that something that's 25 minutes just feels unnatural. Like, how did nothing happen and then it ended? That can't be it, surely. But it was.
So yeah, it's just another 20 minutes, and then you have to wait another week.
Well, I mean, the only thing that I kind of pulled out where I was like kind of interested about was, first of all, I don't understand why the Asian girl is wearing that tech mask, because it was kind of like a Geordie LaForge thing.
You're afraid of her eyes.
It doesn't make sense to me. Like, at first I thought she was going to be blind, but then she starts taking it off, and I'm like, okay, so what the hell's the point of wearing it? I don't really understand what's going on here. And then also you're telling me that no one has accidentally come across this ship ever in however long it's been there. It was underneath like 1.5 inches of grass. It wasn't exactly very well hidden, and no one came across this thing.
Because that Fern takes the bike there every day to school, and they don't seem to go there. Yeah, the one time the black kid goes, there's CCTV robots there.
Well, yeah, there's the one that picks them up very quickly, but then when they go back, there's no other droids around. And then when the droids do show up in episode 2, they don't know there's a ship there. They're like investigating an earthquake. But
yeah,
there's an element of that's not so much a criticism as it is just something that needs to be addressed later, because obviously there's so much about that planet that's deliberately mysterious. So we don't necessarily know that no one knows that ship exists. It could be a cover-up. It could be anything. I suspect it might not be. I think it might just be it crashed ages ago and no one noticed, which will be the worst possible outcome. But they do still have a chance to make a better explanation for it than that. So fingers crossed they will.
The mysteries of the planet.
It's got to do with this great work thing. Something about it meant that they put up the barrier to hide themselves so they could complete the great work for the High Republic. Whatever the mystery is whatever that great work was. And since they've been hidden, they just don't know anything about what's happened in the rest of the galaxy. So they think it's still the High Republic. The rest of the galaxy thinks the planet's a myth. We just need to wait and find out, what the purpose of that all is. And I'm sure they will give us a reason. But
all the kids from the Republic, because I know what kids you've been with. I've got them all in one planet.
It's the Epstein Island of Star Wars, basically.
Just tons and tons of pictures of senators.
So this is actually funny that this came through, by the way, because Reaper, you had mentioned backstage that you really liked Wild Robot. So
yeah, I loved it too.
Good, yeah.
I watched it like 2 days ago, actually, for the like completely ironically watched it 2 days ago, and I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's a really good movie. Like if you're like a parent or like a caretaker, I think that this will really hit you in the feels.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was solid.
Yeah,
I recommend it, and I don't recommend a lot of things. I'm quite a cynical asshole.
yeah,
Really?
for sure.
no way. Would have never guessed.
Yeah, like a bad dad, I give a rare accounts of approval that you must collect for winter.
That is ZG for $10. Look forward to you guys each week. Hello, Platoon. Hello, and thank you.
So as of like backup, this wasn't a particularly busy week in entertainment, but I did snag like the Golden Globes had their nominations. If anyone gives a shit,
And it happened to skip the entire Skeleton Crew. What a coincidence that didn't happen.
Nope, that didn't happen. You are mistaken.
Figured this was a nice, easy way to talk about any other thing that got nominated, any other movie. So I could pull up the list real quick.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, why not?
Or don't. I'm not trying to tell you what to do.
Let's see, because I have no idea.
Yeah, I just came out today.
Nominations, or was it just this?
What? No, I mean,
they announced that they will be nominating.
No, I noticed that I noticed it literally right before the show started. So I was like,
okay.
oh, grab that. Yeah.
I thought we were supposed to know. We did homework.
No. It just allows us to talk about I'll see what.
The only thing I ever pick up on these is just like if some stupid nomination's been made and people take the piss out of it on Twitter. I might be making this one. I think Catherine Hahn's been nominated for Agatha, I think. That might not be the Golden Globes, but I know she's been nominated for something.
I don't know. I don't remember seeing Catherine Hahn, but I saw that Patti LuPone was nominated. Excuse me. Sorry.
I don't even know who that is. Who is that?
She's the old witch on that show. That was like the crystal ball reader. What are those called?
The one who died, or
yeah, she died.
died.
She's dressed up as Glinda in the one episode.
There's
she's like, I really like being. She's the oldest one on that show.
Wait, doesn't one drink wine and die?
Yeah, but I would have said
that was Deborah Jo Rupp from.
Yeah, and she wasn't a witch.
Too many old women dying.
Well,
yeah, the tarot card.
Got nominated. I'm just going through
these.
He
did. Yeah, Wicked got 4 nominations. I remember seeing that.
Let's see the list, Dark Hour.
I will hold on. I'll pull it up right now.
I mean, we're just
hold your horses.
No idea.
And
I'm trying to find. Well, this is like extremely bright. Everybody knows it's going to be it's white. So it's
I don't think anyone does care about these awards anymore, except the actors themselves.
Yeah. I didn't even know they were happening.
Ricky Gervais summed it up best when he went, "Thank you, God, and fuck off."
Damn.
So just tell me what category you want me to slide down to, and we can just go from there.
I mean, there's some good ones in the top list. I mean, Shogun was good.
Oh, I watched Mr. and Mrs. Smith. That was a fucking abomination.
It was bad. It was super boring.
Oh,
I love how. Go ahead.
They were cunts.
Yeah, well, I love. Yeah, they were totally unlikable people when they weren't Asians, and when they were. And then I love how Danny Glover, whatever the Glover guy. I like how he was all like, I wanted to focus on the therapy sessions from the movie, and I'm all like, yeah, because everybody wants to see a couple in therapy. No, we want to see spies and agents and everything do their thing.
I wanted them to die. I think everyone in that shit dies. It was the worst thing ever. Like, they were horrible from the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was not a good show. Yeah, I did not have fun with that show.
Wild Robot should win best score. Did anyone else find Dune Part 2 disappointing?
Yeah.
A little bit. I mean, it looks incredible. It's just
Yes.
Zendaya.
beyond that, yeah, it's quite empty. There's no characters that you can really like about it, and that's because they left out most of the characterization stuff.
Fucking show.
It's haunting you. Look at this.
Fucking everywhere.
Some of these I've never even heard of. Like, then there's always the ones that are like Heretic. It just came out, so it's, you know.
Oh, True Detective. How is that getting a nomination?
Where did you say? Oh, up here. Oh, that's the most legendary rant you've ever gone on.
Fucking abomination.
I kind of liked it.
She had piercings in her face in the middle of Alaska. The big mystery is that 30 lesbians assault the station and kill the men. That's the mystery. And yet they go, it's a lie because they go, oh, the entire station, the reset station hasn't been touched. I just saw 30 lesbians run through the place.
Well, I did like
this was really the year of the lesbian television show.
There's lots of them about, yeah. I think I watched maybe an episode of it and I don't really remember it, but now I'm thinking I should go back and watch the rest because that sounds funny.
It's fucking, and then the problem is cleaners solved the mystery before the detectives. Eskimo cleaners.
You know, I thought I liked it that season, but now you bring up all this crap, and I'm like, that's actually true. That's funny.
That's what Reaper does.
But that's, you know, there was the mystery of that they find a tongue in the station. There's a tongue from a dead body that died years ago, and we never find out how it got there. That's the big mystery. A ghost transported it. That's the only thing I got.
Right. Yeah, I didn't like the supernatural aspects of that because I was just like, they didn't explain it very well. And I'm just like, I don't know what's going on here, but I don't know. I liked it, but now you keep saying this stuff, and I'm all like, maybe I didn't like it.
Do you know they have magic dinosaur DNA? How do you get magic dinosaur DNA out the ice? Best guess. How would you get magic dinosaur DNA out the ice?
You pollute the earth.
Exactly. They pollute cancerous, toxic sludge to get it out the ice, not heat like a normal person.
I'm really glad I pulled up
sludge.
You're making a lot of sense. You're making a lot of sense. The show is shit.
Man, just keep going.
A woman finds the secret of their magic dinosaur DNA. So the first thing the scientists do is murder her. Instead of just asking her to leave, they just frenzy.
They do. Even her boyfriend was all like, all right, let's kill her.
Yeah, they all just go, well, I've got no choice, got to kill her. It's like you just ask her to leave.
Right. We're breaking up.
You control the town, just arrest her.
I don't even need to. I'm just going to get rid of the list. We just need to just let Reaper keep talking about it.
I do like. Hold on. Can you on the animated one? I thought I saw. Yeah, the wild robot.
Jodie Foster.
Yeah, she's there as well. It's nominated twice.
I hate that show so much. She's fucking the 9th Doctor Who in it. They're gross. They're both old. The bodies look like saggy testicles. It was gross. It was the gayest,
would be a cheat code.
Straightest sex scene I've ever seen. It was the weirdest fucking thing I've ever seen. Then you had the angry Eskimo black girl with piercings and a face in the middle of Alaska. She kind of rapes a guy, sort of.
Sort of.
Well, he doesn't say no, but she holds him down.
I mean, that you're making excellent points.
Look happy.
He doesn't look happy, therefore it's rape.
So if it was the other way around, it'd definitely be rape. But he doesn't say no. But he also tries to fight back, but then she overpowers him. So it's that middle ground, you know. Did he? Didn't he? I don't know.
The animated ones, though, I do hope the wild robot wins. That was although I did just watch Memoir of a Snail, and that shit was super depressing. So, but it was a good movie.
Is the Wallace and Gromit movie even out yet? I thought that was out sort of later.
I don't know. I've never seen a Wallace and Gromit movie.
Oh, you're missing out. You'd like them, and I think your kids would like them too. The Wrong Trousers.
I should. Yeah, I'll have to. What are those on? Is that on a streaming service?
I don't actually know. It might be on. It might even be on iPlayer. I'm not sure.
I'm writing it down right now.
Is that the
one?
one?
Harrison Ford was nominated for Shrinking, and that's a role that was actually built for him. This actually, I think he should win that one. I don't know if anyone else watches that show. It's on Apple TV. It's actually really good.
I don't.
It's shockingly good.
You know what gets me about Apple TV is they put out a lot of good shows, but like nobody knows about them because like I'll bring them up and everything, and people will be like, "What? I've never heard of it." And I'm all like, "Okay." Like that one with Ronald Weasley in it. That was the M. Night Shyamalan movie. I only watched the first 2 seasons, but it was pretty good. Where they've got like a fake baby. I was like, that was a pretty good show. I didn't watch the 3rd season, but nobody knew about it. And I'm like, Apple needs to, market better.
Yeah, I know. They just go for prestige TV, and that's
yeah.
Let me get this super chat that's been sitting here for a minute. It to the C to the E, California, $5. I love when Reaper says things are fucking retarded, and his True Detective review is full of it. All right,
I like it too.
She's trapped in a glass door room, and she doesn't shoot through the door with a gun.
I love it because I get to relive this. I was on the open bar where this originally all happened.
This is good. This is good.
She falls into a lake of ice in the middle of winter Alaska, and she's fine.
I did like the guy that was like in the middle of the the Arctic, and he's just like dancing, and everybody's like, he's mimicking drowning, and I'm all like, okay, is that what he's doing?
Russ's dad, apparently.
Yeah, everybody kept saying that,
what
but I'm all like,
what does that mean? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. I'm all like, I don't need a True Detective verse, okay? They can stand alone.
There's actual ghosts. And there's a woman who can speak to ghosts, who doesn't mind covering up murders. The stranger she's only just met.
Well, that's all I have. So
yeah,
it's kind of a slow week. So if anybody, I mean, if the chat wants to throw out an idea, there wasn't really that much going on. It's kind of just how December goes.
Have you guys seen the Harry Potter casting for the TV show?
Oh yeah,
yeah. What the fuck is up with that?
I don't know. It really bums me out the rumors that are coming out in terms of casting, especially with Snape. I mean, and I saw a video, I can't remember who did it, but they were talking about how like maybe we should we may not get what we want from the books, but maybe it'll be like a different interpretation. But I just want to be like, I'm really annoyed about it because with for instance the musical or the play they made Hermione Granger black. And J.K. Rowling said, I never said what color skin she was in the book. And I'm like, okay, that's a solid defense and everything. But with Snape, there is a clear depiction of what he looks like. And he's not a black guy. And for me, I just go, I don't mind it kind of, but I just go, why? Like, there are plenty of characters in there that they could totally make black. And they're good characters.
He'll have long, greasy dreads now this time.
Should make any characters black.
Yeah, and I just go, there, I don't know, man.
I think it's to piss people off, to get negative publicity.
Yeah,
talking about it.
Yeah, and I mean, I wanted to say also, why is it that when it's a white character and they want to race bend it, why is it always white to black? Are there no other races that you can bend to from white to anything else? I just go.
Camelot says to piss you off.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're doing
that BLM shit.
It's slightly surprising because there's a whole family of gingers, and they're normally the first people to get exterminated in a race swap. And
that's what I said. I was all like, "Well, the Weasleys are black now for sure," because that's what they love to do.
No, they'll be victims. They'll just be like tagged and battered and raped and stuff.
Did anyone see the movie Spawn from the 90s?
Yes, I love it.
Yeah. Well, props to Todd McFarlane for being anti-progressive even back then, because he turned a black character white in that movie. He was ahead of his time.
Yeah.
It was Spawn's best friend. He was a major character and he turned him white.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to remember the movie. I can't really remember the movie that well.
Yeah, I was trying to remember, but now that you say that, I remember that. No, that's Yeah, yeah. I love that movie.
The
It's
Oh, the
Ball.
one
Kraven.
who like marries his wife. The one who
Yeah,
like
that guy. Yep.
he was like
Got him
mixed
in right
race.
back.
They went
No,
half.
he was played by DB Sweeney. He's fucking white.
Wow. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember that movie. I haven't seen it for probably like 20 years.
The dude is whiter than the TV screen on Platoon's avatar.
Yeah, and back to the Harry Potter thing, just real quick, because this really bothers me. Harry Potter's like my number one jam, and also everybody wants to be all like, oh well, you can't put people in a negative light and play to stereotypes. Snape in the book, his father is a drunk and beats his mother for being a witch. I'm like, how are you guys gonna make this like look good? Because people are gonna be like, oh, you made the black character's father an abusive asshole. I'm all like, you're just like you're feeding into this crap that you like preach against, and you want everybody to go along with you, but it doesn't make any fucking sense, and it's really annoying. And I don't know, man.
They might change it up just for that reason, but that's the irritating thing about the decision is that if it had been the case, which I mean, the books were written really early 90s, aren't they set? The first one's set in 93, I want to say.
Yeah, something like
so
that.
It's like before the dark times, before Tony Blair. So there's a very different like demographic makeup for the country. The books do introduce lots of actual black characters, but most of them come in sort of the later books. So I guess maybe they're doing it in order to have the early seasons be also a bit more diverse and representative. But if they then use that and then change other things about the character, for instance, to avoid the curse of the unintended narrative, like you just pointed out, then it's just going to start getting irritating, because the whole reason to do a long-form TV adaptation of the books so relatively soon after the film's finished is that you can do the accurate stuff. You can have more in from the books that you couldn't have in the movie. The whole reason for doing this is to be more lore accurate, not less. So I'm now kind of intrigued as to what other changes they make. Like, is it still going to be set in the early 90s, or is it going to be set in the ambiguous 2010 20s? Are they going to have mobile phones all over the place? Like, are they going to change the fundamental sort of old-ish nature of Hogwarts as like the old boarding school idea and make it a bit more modern and technologically savvy? They could do all kinds of terrible, terrible things with this show. But then again, it might be good. It won't be,
Mark
but it might
Strong's Dumbledore.
be. Wait, really?
Yeah, he's been eyed to play Dumbledore. Mark Strong.
Mark Strong?
He's way too young.
No, they hold on. They also are eyeballing somebody else. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds. I'll look up the guy.
I'll get the thing. I'll look it up. But that's a fucking terrible choice. That's real.
I don't know the name of the guy, but sorry. It's some actor
from Mudbloods. Fucking Malfoy saying that to Black Hermione. Mudblood things, get out of here. He's got a big white hat on. All Slytherin's just sitting there.
Mark Rylance.
Oh, well, Mark Rylance, he would be better because he is kind of closer to the right age, and he's got the voice and the look. I could see Mark Rylance as Dumbledore, actually.
Yeah, like, and he looks
more recently emerged a prospect. So it's both. It's him first, but Mark Strong's also competing.
Yeah, that would be just wrong.
Yeah, and my whole thing is just like, I get that they have to pick people that are going to be free for 10 years because they're doing, each book is one season. But I just, I don't know. It just really bothers me when you have a character that you have a complete description of what they look like, and then you're just like, no, fuck that noise. We're just going to do whatever we want. I go, but why? I'm like, pick a character that they don't give you details on what they look like and make, do what you will with them. I don't know. Maybe I'm probably being just a big, like a whiny asshole about it, but I don't know. It just bothers me.
Hagrid. What
was that?
Hercules. They've got Hagrid. It's Hercules from Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah, he was on Ted Lasso.
Wait, who played him?
At the very end, like a post-credit scene.
At the very end.
Yeah, I remember the scene. I'm just trying to remember what he looked like.
Brett Goldstein.
Yeah, he's. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know about that. I only watched that Ted Lasso season 1, so.
Brett Goldstein looks nothing like Hagrid. How can you do that?
No one looks like anyone.
He didn't look much like Hercules either. They tried to pull that one off.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do here. And I was really interested because I'm right now reading Harry Potter to my kids, and we're on the 4th book. And I'm looking forward to the show because I'm like, well, this can be their Harry Potter that they grow up with. Like I grew up with the Harry Potter books and then eventually the movies. So it's like, even though Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson are assholes, they are my Harry and Hermione. So maybe my kids can get, these can be their interpretations of the character live action. But I'm all like, if they're just gonna like completely ignore it, if they're gonna completely ignore
your kids get to see suave metrosexual Hagrid. That's a big upgrade on the original giant. Yeah.
I'm just, I don't know. It just, as soon as I saw it, it kind of bummed me out, and I was like, man, I wish they would just like, I don't know. I don't know how to put it into words. It just really is a bummer, and I just wish that this was McGonagall. I'd watch that, but not on this show. So yeah,
eat the students.
She was the monster in Chamber of the Secrets.
Every scene, she's got a banana. She's just eating a banana.
She's the 3-headed dog.
I tweeted out yesterday that Phoebe Waller-Bridge had been offered the role of Harry.
Oh yeah, I saw that,
and it really blew up.
That was a good tweet, though. That was funny. It made me laugh.
Yeah, I was trying to think of something that's almost too outrageous, but not outrageous enough to be unbelievable. Because I was gonna do Danny DeVito as Dumbledore, but I was like, fuck, no, that would be just too stupid. So I got to do something.
Yeah, the Phoebe Waller-Bridge one is so outrageous that you could actually see them doing it. That's what makes that work. He's in every other fucking show.
Yeah, and they can cover up that gross thing on her forehead with the lightning bolt.
Yep, exactly. And they got plenty of room to put that lightning bolt on.
Right? Yeah, they do. I think her forehead starts like halfway on her head. Like,
yeah.
What's that Voldemort's first host?
Wait, what did you say?
What's the name? Professor Quinn.
Oh, Quirrell. Professor Quirrell.
Yeah, Quirrell.
She could be that. She takes it off and Voldemort's on the back of her head.
Yeah, she's stuttering. Come here, Potter. That's good. That's good casting. I'd watch that.
Yeah. How are they going to do that whole Quirrell thing though? Because they can't have him wear a turban anymore because that's cultural appropriation. So he's got to hide Voldemort's head somewhere else.
Dude, I don't know, man. I mean, they could do that too.
He's part of ISIS or Al Qaeda.
Yeah, they'll make him American. They'll make him American. He'll wear a baseball cap.
That's what I was going to say. He'll wear a flat bill, like a giant
suicide vest.
Professor Quirrell, known jihadi, Professor Quirrell.
Well, we're now friends with Al Qaeda again, aren't we? That's just happened.
He's one of those professors who keep migrating out of Syria as refugees, but they're definitely professors, so that's how he ended up at Hogwarts.
How funny would it be if loads of the students were just fake refugees and they're like 25, 30? I don't think he should be in our class.
Oh, here
That's funny.
Go.
That'd be a good SNL skit.
That's what. There it is, right there.
I mean, probably.
Well, we MHGA, wouldn't it? Make Hogwarts great again.
Yeah.
If all these mudbloods came into our school.
Yeah,
get them out of here.
Yeah, that's my story.
Yeah, well,
disaster.
Absent any other Harry Potter casting related news, I guess that's kind of bringing us towards the usual wrap up time. So it remains to plug whatever shit you have to plug. We shall go counterclockwise from oh god. Plug your shit.
It's there forever now. Like you actually have to remove it.
Macat, starting with you, thank you for coming. Where can we find you? What are you up to?
Thank you for having me. I had a really good time. I always enjoy spending time with you guys, and it was good to meet the rest of you that I haven't met before. I have a YouTube channel. It's called Geek What, and you can check it out, or you can follow me on Twitter at MattCat83. But I want to real quick give a really huge shout out to my friend Ian David Diaz. He has got a YouTube channel. It's called Rebecca Gold. He just put out a teaser trailer for a web series season 2 that he's doing. It's called Rebecca Gold. It looks great. He's raising funds for the second season. It's a really good web series. I want everybody to go watch it and check it out. It's like one of the best things I've seen in a long time, and he wrote it and directed it all by himself and everything, and funding it and all that stuff. So
yes, he's a very talented. Well, yeah, we'll have to have him back on actually to plug it once it's all out. But that's Rebecca Gold is the name of the YouTube channel. It's the modern day, so a man is behind it, but it's technically a woman. So yes, no, go and check that out. He's a very talented guy. Carlo, thank you for coming on. What is coming up for you? Where can we find you?
Well, I have Twitter, my third or fourth Twitter. It's called CamelCast Off. You can follow me there. I also have, my YouTube channel is Camelot 331, where I run my streams Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, usually around 8:30. And also, I just released the campaign for my first book called Ride and Die 1. It is extremely exciting, something I've been working on for a long time. It's been going real well. I have a link to it. I'll put it in the private chat for you. But there it is. And the artwork is done by Ricardo Jaime, and I have some variant covers from like Simon Bisley, Salty, and Ricardo Jaime did a cover as well. And they are all beautiful. It's all real beautiful stuff. And it's going to be a very silly story. I'm not taking hyper serious. It's just a lot of fun. There's a lot of killing, a lot of demons, a lot of boobies, a lot of cool stuff like that. And it's kind of based loosely in like racing because, my first year in NASCAR was this year. And I'm doing it again next year. And I kind of started the book as a journal entries for this year. And then I was, drinking, and it became really fiction based. And then I just went off the rails. And I was like, I'm going to, write this into something really wild. And I finished it and started working towards it. And now we're launching the funding for it right now. It's currently at $41,000.
Damn.
Go give it a look-see. It'd be really cool if you could go give it some love, because it helps me out a lot being like a normal ass dude. I'm just a normal ass dude, man. So
no, that's fantastic though. It must have caught a nerve with people. I mean, that's a great backing number. Link for all of this it's in the chat now, and it will obviously be in the description on the re-up once this goes back up. But that sounds great. So everyone be sure to check that out.
Thank you.
Everyone seems to be making things these days. I need to publish something, I think. I actually have to sit down and make a thing that's worth doing. Reaper, what is coming up with you at the moment? Thank you for coming on. Where can we find you?
I like to play hard to get. If you want me, you have to find me. You know what I mean? I'll make it easy for you. Not much really. Just 10:31. Want to blow my brains out. The usual.
The usual, yeah.
I've got to
life
do
in England.
Creature Commando, which sucks ass. That's basically it.
Is that the James Gunn DCU animated thing?
Yes, I liked it.
But the problem is, it goes. It says like this is the Suicide Squad is canon, where what's his face, Idris Elba shot Superman with a kryptonite bullet, but that film hasn't come out yet. This is a new Superman.
Oh,
so I don't know what the continuity is, but 30 seconds in, it's basically just a woman leading an army of incels complaining about wokeness, and I went, "Yep, this is shit."
See, I like it.
That. Well, you need to be beaten.
I mean, maybe, but I liked it. I like James Gunn's writing, so I mean, maybe that's the problem.
You've seen it like 100 times before. It's basically just Suicide Squad.
I mean, that's true. It is Suicide Squad, but I like Suicide Squad, so.
Oh yeah, Frankenstein gets cooked.
Yeah.
He literally watches the guy have sex with his wife.
Yeah, he does. But that's not his wife. That's not his wife. You just can't
it's called The Bride of Frankenstein. So that kind
of but I can't just walk up to some rando on the street and be like, "You're the bride of MattCat83."
Well, he assembles it into life, and then he's literally crying as the creator fucks her.
He didn't do anything. The doctor did all the work. He's the one that collected the cadavers
And
from
he's
the dude.
crying as his wife
he-
is getting plowed.
I mean, I did feel
fertile
bad.
field.
I
He is
did feel
sowing
bad
the
for him.
seeds.
I did feel bad for
I
him.
don't know
but
why
at
he
the same
even
time,
wants her anyway. She's horrible.
She is horrible. She's horrible. She's
I
my
had
least
no
favorite. She's my
plans
least
to check
favorite
this
character.
out, but now I might have to. This sounds
Oh my
entertaining.
God, yeah.
I do
He's
agree with you.
just incels and basically just like GI Robot just says the same thing of killing Nazis every 5 seconds. You're like, okay, move on.
See,
Yeah.
I like GI Robot was my favorite character.
He just says kill Nazis every 5 seconds. But yeah, like it's safe edgy. You know, like The Boys, where it picks the most socially acceptable targets. Like it doesn't.
I mean,
it
I
just
get what
goes-
you're saying.
Yeah. I just like my edgy because the problem is swearing and violence isn't edgy. It's
So that's a good
normal.
point. Yeah, that's a good point.
Everyone does
Show
it.
some kids being killed or something.
I mean,
Talk about voter fraud. Do something. That's more edgy.
I'd watch that too. I'd watch that too. Mm.
Yeah, so that's sort of what I'm doing. Find me if you want to. I'm out there in the woods.
Good-o. We'll look forward to being jump scared by you as we go through the woods. Dark Hour, what is coming up for you?
So I officially started my my first video of the Skeleton Crew, which will come with, of course, more commercials because everybody loves my commercials. This one actually might be my best commercial I've ever written. I had fun with this one, but other than that, going to be obviously here covering all the upcoming movies. I don't know if I'm going to be doing any reviews for them. Maybe for Sonic 3 because I'm really excited about that one. But other than that, you can find me on my channel, still slowly migrating all the Tuhos over there. And then that's where you can find me on pretty much every other Saturday. And one small announcement, so that way we don't forget it. Next week, we will not be on Monday for this show. We'll be on Tuesday, a little earlier. Yeah, we will keep everybody posted. It will probably be around, we said 2:00 Eastern. I'm not even sure. We're not even sure how we're going to, if we're going to even get guests. So I'm not even sure how we're going to do it yet. We have to change it because of some traveling for Cynic. So we're going to be doing it a different day.
I will forget this, by the way, so you're going to have to remind me next week. But
I'm basically, that's why I'm here. So
fantastic. Thank you very much. Cynic, what is coming up for you?
Tomorrow, video about the Snow White situation. The trailer specifically is highlighted, but the whole Snow White situation is coming out tomorrow because it's just so funny to me. And then Kraven after that. Right after that. Yeah.
Was that out on when is that out again? Someone remind me.
It's coming out Friday.
13.
Yeah.
Oh, another 13th. Fantastic.
And what about
kind of
you?
have to choose which one you want to do.
Choose. I shall do all of them eventually. It just might take me until the new year. What is even coming up? In theory, Gladiator 2. That video has been in production hell. That should be out on Wednesday. Skeleton Crew video, little one, should have been out today. I thought, little quick by my standards video. How hard can it be? That's in copyright hell, so I don't know when that's coming out, but eventually it'll be out. Hopefully tomorrow. We'll see what happens. So maybe even 2 videos this week, and then after that, yeah, who the hell knows? But that brings us to the end of the program. So thank you very much to the panel for being here. Thank you to chat for sticking with us. We shall be back next Tuesday at the earlier hour. Yeah, have a good week, and we'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye-bye.